Should I move home or should I move to an exciting city and live a free, independent life and just give it a go on my own? This is a question that I see out there a lot. A lot of people are seeking the answer to this question because it's a hard one. It's a huge decision to make, and for a lot of people, it's the first big decision that they're making as an independent individual because they're getting a full time job. Maybe they just got a full time job and they have the freedom to choose this. I can move back home, live with my parents, or I can go be on my own if I'd like. And I just got off work. I'm sitting in the back of my car right now, actually. So if you can hear noises around, that's where that's coming from. There's a lot of cars out there in the street. But I was thinking about this topic, and I think that this is something that I'd like to speak to a little bit and give my own opinion, just to have another one out there because there's not enough out there right now, right? Um, yeah, but anyway, I want to speak a little bit because I think you can get caught up in the right answer and trying to find the right answer. And some people will try and make you believe that there is a right answer to this question. And they'll say, you got to move back home, save so much money, it's a no brainer. Or vice versa, they'll tell you, you got to go out and live on your own. The experience is so worth it. It'll force you to mature in a way, being on your own and being independent and not having somebody to rely on all the time. And both of these points are true, definitely true, but I'm going to tell you right now, just just sit down and take a deep breath because there's not a right answer to this. Okay, there's not a blanket statement, white and black answer that everybody should do. So I'm going to tell you it's okay to be worried about the decision and worried about what's the right answer here. That's probably very healthy to be stressed about this. What should I do? And I'm going to tell you right now, you are more than capable of making this decision on your own, and there's not a right answer. So don't get obsessed with making the wrong answer here. But I think what I wanted to talk about is kind of my personal spin on it and a conclusion that I came to when I was making this decision myself, because I do live with my parents. I graduated college recently and I moved back home and I'm working full time. And something that I don't think people talk about enough is the value, how do I say this? The value of saving money and budgeting when you're at home. And I'm not talking the monetary value, like the expenses you're saving. That's very true. You're saving a lot of money at home, and that's a great thing. Like that's probably the number one reason that a lot of people do it. But that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ability to save and the ease of building your budget, right? In a more broad sense. When you're living at home, you have so little expenses coming through. There's not a lot to stress about. And there's one decision that everybody has to make. This is single-handedly, I believe, this is single-handedly the most important correlation with personal wealth and building wealth is your savings rate, okay? Statistics will show, studies have shown that wealth correlates with savings rate. Wealth does not correlate with income, doesn't correlate with age. It most heavily correlates with your savings rate, okay? And how do you build a savings rate? How do you prioritize that? You budget. And living at home provides you with this period where you can take it easy, you can take a step back and build that budget. And you don't have to stress about anything. You don't have to fight for the budget because saving comes so naturally when your expenses are so low. And this this is why living at home provides a lot of value, extra value that I don't think is talked about very much, because this is such an important habit that you need to have and you need to instill. So this is a great way to start that and build it up and build some confidence. You know, when all you have to worry about is like, I know for me, really, insurance, charitable donations, um, certain subscriptions that I personally have, and groceries, gas, very basic things. But I don't have any of the expenses that come with living in my own home, living in my own apartment, which is a lot of expenses and a lot of complications to a budget. When you're building a budget, that can very much deter you from sitting down and getting to it because you're overwhelmed. But when you're just at home, you could sit down in an afternoon, on a Saturday afternoon, and it could only take you an hour to just say, okay, this is what I'm spending money on, so this is how much I can save. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to share. Just a new perspective that I thought I didn't really hear anybody talk about out there. So something I wanted to share. I hope somebody took away something from this video. At least one person out there maybe was helped in their decision. And once again, I just really need to stress, I hope you're not searching for the right answer out there, because only you know your situation, only you know the specific benefits, pros and cons that each side would provide for you, right? So you can make that call, but yeah, this was just a little something I wanted to add out there. So, and I know this is just a really quick little video. I just had a little bit of Skyrim gameplay that I wanted to throw out there and commentate over. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed this, if you enjoy this content, hit subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think. It helps so much. So thanks, guys.